month, and it's just a fabulous car with some upgrades to what Jaguar launched with. But is the constant improvement around EVs a possible reason not to actually buy one? I mean,
for a little while at least.
I know it's still active, I just don't know what electric pickup truck and do immediate drive on it and then buy one. I've said it many times here, I'm buying an electric pickup truck as soon as I can, as soon as I have the ones that I want available. I want to take a look at what's available. My Toyota will get traded in, and then finally I'll be fully electric. But that's, to me, that's the story. We're talking here about 2021. That's the big story, not an individual vehicle. It's that we're now finally getting all the vehicles in all the shapes and sizes.
So if you want an electric crossover, you want to pick up trucks and no convertibles yet, fingers crossed. But pretty much, most of the vehicles that you might be interested in, there's like.
It's on its way.
and they really love. It's like
that the interviewer on the BBC sort of morning radio show was talking about this story, and they had
the thing is, we make jokes about people's friends, but they're lovely. They also do like one of them in particular loves all the jokes, which is
Is that
Big Debs.
Oh, Big Debs.
Big Debs. And do you know what? She is
The founding father.
and do you know the thing with Big Debs is she is by and large
Bands and artists were touting for big things in 2021. Among them, Alfie Templeman. He's just turning 18. He's put out a handful of EPs heading towards his first record.
And elite sport is continuing. So the Premier League is going to carry on. Now Liverpool lost 1-0 last night, but they are still clinging on, absolutely clinging on to the top spot, and nothing back. Okay, so you know, Tuesday I come in excited, going, have we got the Esperanza on the show? And then, you know, looked at me dejectedly as he often does and said, I'm sorry, she hasn't responded to my tweet. And I said, well, okay, what are you going to do now? What did you do next? Well, I upped the game.
Thought he was actually on the little pod on the moon, and he just never got out. I was like, let him step foot, but he never even went down. So he orbits around the moon. Armstrong and Aldrin boarded the lunar module, which is called
Patrol Thunderbird.
189 miles an hour. These will be available. If you're familiar with the Owl, you can see it on your screen here if you're watching this on YouTube. It's an electric supercar from Japan. Spark Owl is now on sale in North America. If you're unfamiliar with the Owl, you can see it on your screen here if you're watching this on YouTube. It's an electric supercar from Japan. Only 50 of them will be made.
And they just looked at me like I was the weirdest freak they'd ever had. Immediately put me in the chorus, because that was how desperate they were for blokes. We staged it, we rehearsed it. I couldn't remember the lyrics.
Thank God you were doing Thumbelina.
Yeah.
Oh,
I couldn't remember the lyrics.
What was it for? Was it Gilbert Sullivan?
It was the Pirates of Penzance. There weren't enough blokes, right? So that we had to double up. So some of the pirates had to double up as the policemen who were chasing the pirates. Let's clean it up a bit, and straight away I'll be worth more money. So he says, right, you do the kitchen and I'll do upstairs and that. And she's
So the awards, you hand in one show, don't you?
Yeah.
We could hand in next week's, couldn't we? Because it was broadcast in this year, just as a clip show from years ago. Because you could hand in I Love 1975, couldn't you? In the BAFTAs or something.
You could.
Yeah. Essentially.
the strangest. It wins an award for that, and it was in a place called Crieff in Scotland.
You did.
Oh yeah.
And
That kind of thing in the box where you do the points and stuff like that was a big job. It was a great honour to do that. But he said that
You drive into a battery swapping station in China, and then a few moments later, or maybe you don't drive, maybe somebody else actually drives it into the station, but a few moments later, 6 minutes later, your car is once again ready to go with a fully charged battery. They have hundreds of locations for battery swapping in China. It's very, very popular, and they've got a second-gen version of the system coming out, 150 kilowatt hour battery, which, imagine just driving all day and depleting your battery, pop into the swap station. You make an appointment, you don't have to, but they encourage you to make an appointment, which means that the whole system runs a lot more system, so you're expected, and then you leave with a full battery. And of course you leave with the safety body, and they looked into all of them, and it turns out in every one of these cases, every single case, people got the pedals confused. So just as a recap for anyone listening to this,
Yukimo says, no, tech always improves, and it's never a good time to jump in. Electric cars are good enough already, enough range, enough infrastructure, so no, buy it now and enjoy the updates. Brendan,
someone who was done meant a lot to you, was like, oh, I disagree. It is about love. It's not, it may not be about love. It's about love. And I wanted to share that because you listening may not think that you see the nice things you say and mean things you say. And we don't occasionally. Some weeks I don't mean any. Some weeks I do mean it, and I love that. I meant to love.
You know, I always see the mean shit. The nice shit always, for some reason, just goes over my head.
Now you probably do what a lot of people. One mean thing, and then you click on that guy's link and just like look at it.
And then I wanted to size them up, all that shit's in there. It's like, I wonder if I could beat this.
Sarah Silverman posted this thing. I mean, cannot believe the shit this guy was writing on her Instagram. She should explain. No, wait, we want to plug your blog about it, but can you explain in layman's terms to people who know nothing about it, including myself, how is the Black experience different with autism?
With autism, well, like especially when it comes to the things you hear in the news, when Black people don't just have to worry or teach our children about the special needs. We also have to worry about how they interact with the police, because my child, he has sensory processing disorder as well.
They're all smoking pipes in tweed suits. Yeah. No young people now are smoking pipes. I fear that it's going to be dead in like 15 years. I don't think anyone's going to be smoking pipes.
It never works its way actually into the cars they sell. There has been a Model S spotted with slightly wider bodywork and a slightly different front end, but it's a one-off, and that was a weird story anyway. Batteries, which Tesla started putting in their base Model 3 in China. It's a very, I'll say boring chemistry, but in terms of very stable, not sexy, been around for a long time, in buses a lot, and they are still managing to up the energy density. At the moment, it's
that she wrote about, and then now this, and there's always these little moments from Jen's actual life, and I think it is such a nice touch. And there are always these really ordinary moments that might otherwise pass you by, and something in her...
Let's just clarify a couple of rules here. Let's just make sure we thought everything through, because I'm pretty certain when they get these things on TV, they at least have a good,
Well, I can't, because again, that's what I'm saying. I can't tell you the story because
you don't need to. You really don't need to.
This person might even listen and think, I forgot about that.
Stay
you brought
there.
it all back to me.
Stay there. Stay there. You've got 2 lanes.
I prefer to leave it, but I think people know.
Why did he put him in the bin in the first place?
Because he was getting out of hand.
What was he doing though?
You see, I can't explain.
Did you?
I prefer to leave it, honestly.
It just works. I think it works.
Yeah. You love fun.
So, there you go. So which of those are you going to choose, right?
Oh, well, I'm going to have to choose. Don't do that, you know, can't leave
14 times as well? Do you know, you can't remember it. I don't know where I got that from. I don't know where I got it from. But why don't you think that makes sense?
And we used to have like tins with letters in, and you'd have to write stuff. But anyway, what are we doing? Right, so anyway,
I'm intrigued by the doctors that in your face.
we'll go there.
You don't mean that. No, it's a great feature. Coming out, no, we've got Rockbusters coming up, the Great Youth Quiz. That's made the press. From the tea rooms and the newsletter.
HV. Final one is the thing. I was in Texas the other week, right? I tripped and landed on my knees in a puddle.
There's never been ever in the history of herd immunity, natural herd immunity. Never in the history of herd immunity, right? So
This podcast doesn't really have a lot of positive inspiration to having children.
If I may, I obviously don't have children, but I just want to parrot something that Casey said before and just start with the question: do you allow your kids to play video games?
Of course, yes. My 3 games in the house. Husband and the kids.
That's where it starts, man. My kid gets the most aggressive right after he plays that video game. After the video game, that's when I get to go, Dad, I should have not having it!
I said Daniel was probably about to say, is there a game they like to come?
Yeah, that is where I was going. So
again, just take you off.
You can get me a Twitch. Kind of damn curly-whirly, Granddad. Old fool. Girlfriend, when she was about 7 or 8, just walking to school with her mum, and she called her a C-U-N.
You're joking.
No, she said, because she thought it was a big. She said she thought it was a big furry animal. She was being nice. And we're doing that. We're doing that. Like, just doing it.
When I was moving house, it's an FHM publication. It's kind of like lots of grotesque pictures and stories, and like a book of freaks and weirdos and
Carl opened it, and the first one was like
At the back.
At the back.
Well, you couldn't believe your luck.
What was it? What was number 50?
A bloke with 2 heads.
And he said, "What's number 1?"
Yeah.
And then number 6, there's a bloke who's a squid or something.
Octopus.
Yeah. Yeah. He's loving it. At number 1, he said, "Let's just a fella under a rock." And I went, "Oh no, Regan, I think I know about this."